Hey everybody, here I am again by surprise, as I like to do every once in a while, um, because I like to sometimes read and I get inspired to read. So I just wanted to come on and do this reading for you guys really quickly. This reading is actually very near and dear to my heart because, first of all, welcome to my channel, Permission to Live in the End. Click that like button, click subscribe, click that notification button so that those who wouldn't normally have gotten a chance to see this video get a chance to do so. I thank you so much for doing that. And of course, if you have any comments or anything that you want to discuss in the chat, let's go ahead and do that. I'm not going to play any games. This is going to be quick. I'm going to, go through this reading. But this reading is very near and dear to me because I used to keep the Sabbath. If you know my story, and I won't share too much of that right now because that wasn't the point of my going live to begin with, but I used to keep the seventh day Sabbath years ago, and I exited the what I call the church system in 2011. And in about 2012, I came upon Neville Goddard's teachings, which reminded me greatly of the experiences that I was already having. When I started to read Neville Goddard's work, I was like, I understand everything this man is saying because it reminded me of my very own experiences. But I just wanted to share this reading with you guys this evening because, as I said in the beginning, this is very near and dear to me. And when I found this reading the very first time, it was such a breath of fresh air. And I said to myself, oh my goodness, this is it. It just, I felt like just a deep breath just went through me with understanding of what, Neville was talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading, not waste any more time. So I'm going to be reading from Freedom for All, 1996, somebody typed this in 1996, chapter 5, the Sabbath. And if you don't get a chance to join me here live, of course the replay is going to be available, which is a wonderful thing. And every now and then I'll come back over and check the chat just to see if anybody's saying anything. But I felt like, you know what, we all could use some rest, couldn't we? And this is a perfect reading to help us enter into that rest. So this is chapter 5, the Sabbath. 6 days shall work be done, but on the seventh day there shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Exodus 31:15, 32:5, Leviticus 23:3. These 6 days are not 24-hour periods of time. They symbolize the psychological moment. A definite subjective state is fixed. These 6 days of work are subjective experiences and consequently cannot be measured by sidereal time. For the real work of fixing a definite psychological state is done in consciousness. The time spent in consciously defining yourself as that which you desire to be is the measure of these 6 days. A change of consciousness is the work done in these 6 creative days. A psychological adjustment, which is measured not by sidereal time, but by actual subjective accomplishment. Just as life in retrospect is measured not by years, but by the content of those years, so too is the psychological interval measured. not by the time spent in making the adjustment, but by the accomplishment of that interval. The true meaning of 6 days of work, creation, is revealed in the mystery of the Vau, V-A-U, which is the sixth letter in the Hebrew alphabet and the third letter in the divine name, Jod He Vav He. That's spelled Jodhevauhe. As previously explained in the mystery of the name of Jehovah, Va means to nail or join. The Creator is joined to his creation through feeling. And the time that it takes you to fix a definite feeling is the true measure of these 6 days of creation. I'm going to read that again. The Creator is joined to his creation through feeling. And the time that it takes you to fix a definite feeling is the true measure of these 6 days of creation. Mentally separating yourself from the objective world and attaching yourself through the secret of feeling to the subjective state is the function of the sixth letter of the Hebrew alphabet Vav, V-A-U, or the 6 days of work. I just think this is incredible, guys. There is always an interval between the fixed impression or subjective state and the outward expression of that state. The interval is called the Sabbath. The Sabbath is the mental rest which follows the fixed psychological state. It is the result of your 6 days of work. The Sabbath was made for man. This mental rest, which follows a successful conscious impregnation, is the period of mental pregnancy. A period which is made for the purpose of incubating the manifestation. It was made for the manifestation. The manifestation was not made for it. Automatically, you keep the Sabbath, a day of rest, a period of mental rest, if you succeed in accomplishing your 6 days of work. There can be no Sabbath, no seventh day, no period of mental rest until the 6 days are over, until the psychological adjustment is accomplished and the mental impression is fully made. I love that part because people are always asking, how long should it take? How long should it take? How long should it take between the time that you decide that you have a desired outcome and, going through the process of successfully impressing upon your subconscious mind, what you want your desired outcome to be. People are always looking for that answer. So I'm going to read this again. Automatically, you keep the Sabbath, a day of rest, a period of mental rest, if you succeed in accomplishing your 6 days of work. So that is the answer to that question. If you succeed in accomplishing your 6 days of work, 6 days of work not being the number 6 or but the symbolic representation of 6, meaning you have joined together with the thing that you desire. So whenever you hear that 6 days of work, it is not 6 days of work as we have come to understand it. It is the symbolic representation of 6 being the joining of the Creator and the creation together. So it goes on to say again, there can be no Sabbath, no seventh day, No period of mental rest until the 6 days are over, until the psychological adjustment is accomplished and the mental impression is fully made. That's when it's done. Man is warned that if he fails to keep the Sabbath, if he fails to enter into the rest of God, he will also fail to receive the promise. He will fail to realize his desires. The reason for this is simple and obvious. There can be no mental rest until a conscious impression is made. If a man fails to fully impress upon himself the fact that he now has that which heretofore he desired to possess, he will continue to desire it. Let me read that again. If a man fails to fully impress upon himself the fact that he now has that which heretofore he desired to possess, he will continue to desire it. And therefore, he will not be mentally at rest or satisfied. If, on the other hand, he succeeds in making his conscious adjustment so that upon emerging from the period of silence or his subjective 6 days of work, that means that's subjective. I had to go over and make sure I understood that. And that means based upon you, based upon your personal feelings, your process of getting to that place. And I'm sorry, I lost my place. If a man fails to fully impress upon himself the fact that he now has that which heretofore he desired to possess, he will continue to desire it, and therefore he will not be mentally at rest or satisfied. If, on the other hand, he succeeds in making his conscious adjustment so that upon emerging from the period of silence or his subjective 6 days of work, he knows by his feeling that he has the thing desired. Then he automatically enters the Sabbath or the period of mental rest. I love that. So far, we've heard that a couple of times in the reading where he's saying that then he automatically enters the Sabbath or the period of mental rest. Automatically enters. Oh my goodness. I love hearing that. Pregnancy follows impregnation. Man does not continue desiring that which he has already acquired. So if you are still worried about it, still trying to figure out what's going on, still, contemplating this, that, and the other, you haven't already acquired it because you're still desiring it. The Sabbath can be kept as a day of rest only after man succeeds in becoming conscious of being that which before entering the silence he desired to be. The Sabbath is the result of the 6 days of work. Again, not the 6 days as we've come to understand it, but the 6 days that you need to go through in order to successfully impress the subconscious mind and to join yourself, the creator, and the creation that you're looking to create. The man who knows the true meaning of these 6 work days realizes that the observance of one day of the week as a day of physical quietness is not keeping the Sabbath. The peace and the quiet of the Sabbath can be experienced only when man has succeeded in becoming conscious of being that which he desires to be. If he fails to make this conscious impression, he has missed the mark. He has sinned. For to sin is to miss the mark, to fail to achieve one's objective, a state in which there is no peace of mind. If I, quote unquote, if I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not had sin. If man had not been presented with an ideal state toward which to aim, a state to be desired and acquired, he would have been satisfied with his lot in life and would never have known sin. Now that man knows that his capacities are infinite. Let me read that again. Now that man knows that his capacities are infinite, knows that by working 6 days or by making a psychological adjustment, he can realize his desires. He will not be satisfied until he achieves his every objective. He will, with the true knowledge of these 6 work days, define his objective and set about becoming conscious of being it. When this conscious impression is made, it is automatically followed by a period of mental rest, a period the mystic calls the Sabbath, an interval in which the conscious impression will be gestated and physically expressed. The word will be made flesh. But this is not the end. The Sabbath or rest, which will be broken by the embodiment of the idea, will sooner or later give way to another 6 days of work as man defines another objective and begins anew the act of defining himself as that which he desires to be. So we just keep expanding and expressing and expanding and expressing and expanding and expressing and coming into another knowledge and expressing. I love it. Man has been stirred out of his sleep through the medium of desire and can find no rest until he realizes his desire. But before he can enter into the rest of God or keep the Sabbath, before he can walk unafraid and at peace, he must become a good spiritual marksman and learn the secret of hitting the mark or working 6 days. The secret by which he lets go of the objective state and adjusts himself to the subjective. This secret was revealed in the divine name Jehovah, and again in the story of Isaac, blessing his son Jacob. If man will apply the formula as it is revealed on these Bible dramas, he will hit a spiritual bullseye every time, for he will know that the mental rest or Sabbath is entered only as he succeeds in making a psychological adjustment. That keeps being said over and over and over again. The story of the crucifixion beautifully dramatizes these 6 days, in parentheses, psychological period, and the seventh day of rest. It is recorded that it was the custom of the Jews to have someone released from prison at the feast of the Passover, and that they were given the choice of having released unto them either Barabbas the robber or Jesus the Savior. And they cried, "Release Barabbas!" Whereupon Barabbas was released and Jesus was crucified. It is further recorded that Jesus the Savior was crucified on the 6th day, entombed or buried on the 7th, and resurrected on the 1st day. The Savior in your case is that which would save you from that which you are not conscious of being, while Barabbas the thief is your present conception of yourself, which robs you of that which you would like to be. I'm going to read that again because that is deep right there. It is further recorded that Jesus the Savior was crucified on the 6th day, entombed or buried on the 7th day, and resurrected on the 1st day. The Savior in your case is that which would save you from that which you are not conscious of being, while Barabbas the thief is your present conception of yourself, which robs you of that which you would like to be. In defining your Savior, you define which would save you and not how you would be saved. Your Savior or desire has ways ye know not of. His ways are past finding out. Every problem reveals its own solution. If you were imprisoned, you would automatically desire to be free. Freedom then is the thing that would save you. It is your Savior. Having discovered your Savior, the next step in this great drama of the resurrection is to release Barabbas the robber, your present concept of yourself, and to crucify your Savior or fix the consciousness of being or having that which would save you. Barabbas represents your present problem. Your Savior is that which would free you from that problem, from this problem. You release Barabbas by taking your attention away from your problem, away from your sense of limitation, for it robs you of the freedom that you seek. And you crucify your Savior by fixing a definite psychological state, by feeling that you are free from the limitation of the past. You deny the evidence of the senses and begin to feel subjectively the joy of being free. You feel this state of freedom to be so real that you too cry out, I am free. It is finished. The fixing of this subjective state, the crucifixion, takes place on the sixth day. Before the sun sets on this day, you must have completed the fixation by feeling it is so. It is finished. The subjective knowing is followed by the Sabbath or mental rest. You will be as one buried or entombed, for you will know that no matter how mountainous the barriers, how impassable the walls appear to be, your crucified and buried Savior, and in parentheses, your present subjective fixation, will resurrect himself. By keeping the Sabbath, a period of mental rest, by assuming the attitude of mind that would be yours if you were already visibly expressing this freedom, you will receive the promise of the Lord, for the word will be made flesh. The subjective fixation will embody itself. And God did rest the seventh day from all his works. Your consciousness is God resting in the knowledge that it is well, it is finished, and your objective senses shall confirm that it is so, for the day shall reveal it. Again, this is the reading from Freedom for All, chapter 5, the Sabbath. And I just wanted to stop by and read this because as you come to this channel, Permission to Live in the End, I like to do readings every once in a while because you can come and people sometimes like to read with other people, and you can just press the play button and just listen to me reading as you process what is being said. And as we're about to go into the weekend, and I know that people, the energy of the weekend coming upon us causes people to begin to, well, when Sunday's coming, that's the energy Sunday tends to bring. But I'm feeling like in this time frame of quarantine that we have been in, it has been causing people to be in more introspective states of being than I have ever noticed before. And I'm sure that whoever is listening to this can attest to that as well. So it's not necessarily just the weekend that causes you to begin to go inwardly and contemplate and introspect and all of that. So, I just wanted to provide this as you are going into that weekend time frame, and even this evening, to assist with whomever may be out there who has been struggling with your manifestations, asking questions like, when is this going to happen? Just going through the whole process and all that we can tend to go through as we have become conscious manifestors. It doesn't mean that we won't experience some struggles of asking questions and doubting and these type of things. And so it was just on me to bring this reading to the channel, so that you can experience the rest that the scriptures are actually talking about versus what you may have come to understand, rest and the Sabbath to be, so that you can experience that rest that comes upon you as you have successfully impressed upon your subconscious mind, and merged and had that experience of the symbolic letter 6, VAU, that merges and joins together you, the creator, with your creation. I just wanted you to feel that and understand it on a deeper level, and be able to press the play button over and over again so you can hear this. And I welcome any comments, any feelings that come over you as you listen, any experiences that you have had where you have experienced that rest that comes over you when you know that you know that you know that you know that you have successfully impressed upon the subconscious mind. All of that I would like to hear in the comments. And everybody, until the next time, rest be upon you, and I will see you on the next video.